feeling more intense starting over. If you deleted your homework before it was due, as I have, left your wallet at home and you have to go back after spending an hour. If you won some money at the casino and then put all your winnings on red but it came up black. If you got your best dry cleaned before a wedding, immediately dropped food on it. If you won an argument with a friend and then later discovered that they just returned the original view. Starting over is hard starting up. If you're not ready for that, like if you've already had a bad day, then what you're about to go through is too much. Feel free to go away and come back. I'll be here. Alright, thanks for coming with me on this trip. I'll understand if you have to take at any point. Just find a safe place to stop the game. And don't worry, I'll save your progress, even your mistakes. This game is to a free game that came out in 2002 titled Sexy Hiking. The author of that game was a mysterious Czech designer who was known as the father of bees. A rough of found designers together and freely, and they're often rough and unlikely to gain much of a following. They're built more for the joy of building than as polished. In a certain way, Sexy Hiking is the embodiment of a bee. It's built almost entirely out of found and recycled parts, and it's one of the usual and unfriendly games of its time. In it, your task is simply to drag yourself with a hammer. And that act of climbing, digital world life, has essential properties that give the game its flavor. No amount of progress is guaranteed. Some cliffs are too sheer or too slippery, and the player is constantly, unremittingly in danger of falling and losing everything. Anyway, when you start Sexy Hiking, you're standing next to this that blocks the entire rest of the game. It took an hour to get over that tree. You never got past it. You prod and you poke at, exploring the limits of your reach and your strength, trying to find a way up and lots of truth in that lack of compromise. Most obstacles in video game worlds, you can be completely confident in your ability to get through them when you direct method, equipment, or spend enough time. In that sense, every pixelated obstacle in Sexy Hiking is real. The obstacles in Sexy Hiking are unyielding, and that makes the game unique and frustrating. But it's intended to make a frustrating game. The frustration is just essential to the act of climbing. It's authentic process of building a game about climbing. A funny thing happened to me as I was building this mountain. I'd have an idea for a new obstacle, and I'd build it, test it, and it would usually turn out to be unreasonably hard. But I couldn't to make it easier. It already felt like my inability to get past the new obstacle was my fault as a player rather than builder. Imaginary mountains themselves from to climb, and it's our repeated effort to reach the summit that turns mountains into something. When you're building a video game world, you're building with ideas. It can be like working with quickset cement. Ideas into a certain shape that can be played with, and in the process of playing with them, they begin to harden and set until they're immutable, like. And at that point, you can't change the world, breaking it into pieces and starting fresh with new ideas. Now, people have been predicting would soon be made out of prefabricated objects in a store, assembled into a. And for the most part, that hasn't happened, because the objects in the stores are trash. I don't look bad or that they're badly made, although a lot of them. I mean, they're trash in the way that food becomes trash as soon as you put it in the sink. Things are made to be consumed and used in a context, and once the moment is gone, they transform into garbage. In the context of technology, those moments pass by in seconds. Over time, we've poured more and more refuse into this vast digital landfill that we call the internet. It now vastly outnumbers and outweighs the things that are fresh and untainted and unused. When everything around us is cultural trash, trash becomes the new medium, the lingua franca of the digital age. And you could build trash, but only trash culture. B games, B movies, B music, B. This is what culture is. A monstrous mountain of trash, ash heap of creativity's fountain. A landfill with everything we ever thought of in it. Grand, infinite, and unsorted. There's 3D models of breakfast, Gen X's fan photos, Scan magazine, Green Shia LaBeouf, banned signs on LiveLeak. Facebook's got lifelike bots with unbranded adverts and candid shots of Kanye and Taylor Swift mashups, epic failed GIFs, Russian vids, versions of McRib, discarded, forgotten, unrecycled, muddled, rotten, untitled. Everything's fresh for about 6 seconds, until some newer thing beckons, fresh, and there's years of perseverance peering in style, out of sight. In this context, it's tempting to make content that lets you churn but not earn. Why make it demanding if it just gets in the land, file things? Oh, you just lost a of progress. That's a demonstration, a real punch. Sorry. You've done this part before. You know it's possible. Just do what you did the first time.